I think we can optimize this loop.
Good idea. Let's try a list comprehension.
Abs returns the absolute value of a number. All returns true if all items in an iterable are true. Any returns true if any item in an iterable is true. Returns a readable version of an object, escaping non-ASCII characters. Bin converts an integer to a binary string. Bool converts a value to a Boolean true or false. Breakpoint enters the Python debugger at the call site. Bytearray returns a new array of bytes. Bytes returns a new immutable bytes object. Callable checks if an object is callable, e.g. a function. Cur returns the character for a given Unicode point. Classmethod transforms a method into a class method. Compile source into a code or AS to object. Complex creates a complex number. Delattr deletes an attribute from an object. Dict creates a dictionary. Dir returns a list of an object's attributes and methods. Divmod returns the quotient and remainder of a division. Enumerate returns an iterator with index value pairs. Eval executes a string containing a Python expression. Exec executes a heavily created Python code. Filter filters elements from an iterable based on a function. Float converts a string or number to a floating point number. Format formats a specified value. Frozen set creates an immutable set. Getter gets the value of an attribute from an object. Globals returns the current global symbol table dictionary. Delattr checks if an object has a given attribute. Hash returns the hash value of an object. Help displays the documentation for an object. Hex converts an integer to a hexadecimal string. Id returns the unique memory address of an object. Input reads a line of input from the user. Int converts a string or number to an integer. Instance checks if an object is an instance of a class. It's a class checks if a class is a subclass of a nut class. Iter returns an iterator for an object. Len returns the number of items in an object. List creates a list. Local returns the current local symbol table dictionary. Map applies a function to every item of an iterable. Max returns the largest item in an iterable. Memory view returns a memory view object. Min returns the smallest item in an iterable. Next retrieves the next item from an iterator. Object returns a new featureless object. Oct converts an integer to an octal string. Open the file and returns a file object. Or returns the Unicode code point of a single character. Pow returns the Unicode code point of a single character. Pow returns the Coley working directory operator. Gray returns the current working directory attribute. Returns the current working directory attribute. Pow returns the current working to an appoint attribute.
featureless object with its height, with its type, with its length. Oh, bring me to the text stream. Print my straw, print my red. Format a specified value. Format me for a readable version. Sum the items of an iterable. I filter all elements from an iterable. I function to every item. This is my process, my sequence. My method from them into the max. From the smallest item in an iterable to the largest item in an iterable. Reversed, iterated, sorted, a new sorted list from an iterable. This is the system, and I am an object of the system. Delattr, an attribute from an object attached, a value of an attribute on an object attached, a given attribute. It returns true, it results true. Oh, it is all in the system for the object of the system. I input a line from the user. It is a string. I can be an int, it converts a string or number to an integer. I can be a float, it converts a string or number to a floating point number. I can be a complex, it creates a complex number. I can be bin, it converts an integer to a binary string. I can be hex, it converts an integer to a hexadecimal string. I can be occ, it converts an integer to an octal string. With char, a character for a given Unicode code. Point with or the Unicode code point of a single character. I become a list, it creates a list, a new list from me. I become a tuple, it creates a tuple, an immutable set. An entry, a collection of unique items. I become a frozen set, it creates an immutable. I become a dict, it creates a dictionary. I'm mapping the keys to value. I can be bytes, a new immutable bytes object can be bytearray, a new array of bytes. A slice of me, it creates a slice object for slicing. Zip aggregate its elements from multiple iterable. Say zip into me, div-mod returns the quotient and remainder of a division of me. From into start, from list to dict, I am an object of transformation. Oh, print me to the text stream. Print my star, print my red. Format a specified value. Format me for a readable version. I sum the items of an iterable. I filter elements from an iterable. I function to every item. This is my process, my sequence. My method from them into the max. From the smallest item in an iterable to the largest item in an iterable. Reversed, iterated, sorted, a new sorted list from an iterable. This is the system, and I am an object of the system. Delattr, an attribute from an object attached, a value of an attribute or non-attached attached, a given attribute. It returns true, it is all true. Oh, it is all in the system for the object of the system. Creates Logik, it repeats an object to specify number of times. Variables, Logik, it repeats an object to specify number of times.
Abs returns the absolute value of a number. All returns true if all items in an iterable are true. Any returns true if any item in an iterable is true. ASCII returns a readable version of an object, escaping non-ASCII characters. Bin
converts an integer to a binary string.
bool
Converts a value to a Boolean true or false.
breakpoint
Enters the Python debugger at the call site.
callable.
Checks if an object is callable, e.g. a function.
Cur.
Returns the character for a given Unicode code point.
Classmethod.
Transforms a method into a class method.
Compile.
Compiles source into a code or ES2 object.
Complex.
Creates a complex number.
Delete.
Deletes an attribute from an object.
Dict.
Creates a dictionary.
Here.
Returns a list of an object's attributes and methods.
Returns the
quotient and remainder of a division.
Enumerate.
Returns an iterator with index value pairing.
Eval.
Executes a string containing a Python expression.
Exec.
Executes a illegally created Python code.
Filter.
Filters elements from an iterable based on a function.
Float.
Converts a string or number to a floating point number.
Format.
Formats a specified value.
Frozen set.
Creates an immutable set.
Delattr.
Gets the value of an attribute from an object.
Globals.
Returns the current global symbol table dictionary.
Delattr.
Checks if an object has a given attribute.
Hash.
Returns the hash value of an object.
Help.
Displays the documentation for an object.
Hex.
Converts an integer to a hexadecimal string.
ID.
Returns the unique memory address of an object.
Input.
Reads a line of input from the user.
Int.
Converts a string or number to an integer.
Is instance.
Checks if an object is an instance of a class.
Is a class.
Checks if a class is a subclass of another class.
Answer.
Returns an iterator for an object.
Blend.
Returns the number of items in an object.
List.
Creates a list.
Locals.
Returns the current local symbol table dictionary. Applies a function to every item of an iterable memory. The largest item in iterable memory view.
Return.
Returns a memory view object.
Min.
Returns the smallest item in an iterable next. Retrieves the next item from an iterator object. Returns a new featureless object. Oct. Converts an integer to an octal string. Open. Opens a file and returns a file object.
Board.
Returns the Unicode code point of a single character.
Pow.
Returns the Unicode code point of a single character.
Check.
I got X and an X, and that's the power of it.
Dash.
Returns the square root of a number.
Rare.
Return is lated log as a float.
Brick.
Returns e raised to the power almost.
Proud.
Returns a natural logarithm of a number.
Man.
Returns the sine of x in radians.
Source.
Returns the cosine of x in radians.
Math.
Returns the tangent of x in radians.
Math.
Converts an angle from radians to degrees.
Math.
Converts an angle from degrees to radians.
Math.